This is Offside Hockey Talk, where the Maple Leafs and hockey come to talk. And we are live. This is Offside Hockey Talk right after the big game against the Devils, which we will get to in its entirety. What's going on, guys? It's James, Pete, and Dylan rocking the Offside airwaves tonight. Proudly brought to you by our friends, Boxing Rock Brewing Co., the Puck Off Lauderdale, for the absolute big game, the streak breaker itself. The Maple Leafs just played. But before we get there, ladies and gentlemen, how sweet it is to see the Maple Leafs pull off another trade from a player from the Sioux. My God, Connor Timmins coming in. And why is that? Well, because the Maple Leafs lost Morgan Rielly for what looks to be up to 6 weeks with a grade 1 or grade 2 MCL sprain, a la what Zach Hyman had a couple of seasons ago with the Leafs towards the end of the year. That absolutely sucks. Pile on a little bit more to the plate, though. TJ Brodie not ready, not going on the road trip with the team. That sucks. And then tonight you lose Jordie Benn again. He came back like a muscle man he is for the third period, but it does look like Jordie Benn will probably miss some time now with the Toronto Maple Leafs. That groin thing looks like it's creeping up. Then he takes a blast off his foot. Absolutely not what you want to see, but hey, we'll see what happens. The Leafs do bring in 6'2", 205 pounds, Connor Timmins, and everybody's getting upset. Well, what does this guy do? Well, this guy, he blocks shots. He hits a little bit. He's mobile. And also, by the way, his takeaways are better than his giveaways. And that is something that I was preaching about Matt Dumba. Look at the numbers. It is not good for Matthew Dumba. This is a cheap, safe, right-handed shot defenseman that you got for a guy that you plucked up and signed off the AHL. So we'll see what happens. But guys, what's going on? Are you amped up or what?
I am buzzing after that game. My heart is beating. I think I'm glistening. I'm sweating from watching that game. I was literally standing in front of my TV just going, oh my God. I was just dialed in, and they pulled it off. I don't know how they pulled it off. I said, when they scored that first goal, I was like, the game's over. I've seen this too many times. The game's over. New Jersey's been winning overtime, and that's it. But the Leafs held on. Matthew Murray, shout out to that man, because he was a wall tonight. Absolute wall. Shout out to Matt Murray.
Matt Murray was dialed in. Dilly, what'd you think, man?
We've been looking for somebody to stop that puck, and let me tell you, we got somebody stopping that freaking puck. I don't think I have any freaking nails back, that's for sure, or on my fingers. I've been chewing them all off. The last 5 minutes, it felt like 35 minutes in our own end. Yeah, it was pretty brutal. Matt Murray stood on his head. The fans.
Yeah, well, I said
they were something else. Let me tell you,
that was cheesy, man. That was classless. I mean, players were getting hit with shit, man. That ain't right. I don't care how mad you are. That ain't right.
They had to send all the Leafs to the dressing room, right?
Oh yeah,
booking it, man. Yeah, they were booking it off. Not because they were scared, man. They're getting hit with shit.
I don't blame them, man. Like, even I was looking at the feed and I was watching Eric Holla. He's like, stop. And then he was like, are you guys kidding me? Like, effing stop. You guys are idiots. And I was like, if your own team is saying that, you guys are stupid. I have never seen fans.
I would say there's no way we would do that in Toronto. However, we have done that in Toronto at the Toronto Blue Jays game.
Yeah.
5, Joey Bats, actually, what's his name? Russell Martin throwing the ball, hitting Shinju Hu or whatever his name. Sorry if I mispronounced that. But yeah, fans threw their beers on the field. Can't say that we wouldn't do the same, because we might have. I don't know if we're on a 13 game heater. We've never been on that many game winning streak before. So I can't say if we do that or not. If we had 3 goals allowed, maybe we would, maybe we wouldn't. But that's still pretty greasy to do. I know I wouldn't. I'd be pissed, but there's no way I'm chucking my $20 beer onto the ice. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. That's alcohol abuse. What are you talking about?
No, absolutely. Yeah, listen, I just think it's juvenile. I mean, what if someone got hurt, whether it's a goaltender? What if you hit Jack Hughes by accident with a half of can of beer upside the head, split him wide open. And next thing you know, Jack Hughes can't play the rest of the season because he's got vision problems or something. Those things happen, man, when you're freak idiots, right?
I would
Those
laugh.
things can happen.
You know what? I saw someone say, they're like, it's a hat trick because 3 no goals allowed, you throw your beer. That's the equivalent of a hat trick.
Okay, that's funny.
The trifecta of the disallowed goals. But let's jump back, guys, before we talk more about the Devils game here. Let's talk about the Isles game the other night. We did not get to touch on that yet. The Leafs obviously lose that one, 3-2 in overtime. I'm telling you right now, Eric Källgren to me is a stopgap goaltender. I'm not saying that he's bad. I'm just saying that he is not at the level where you need him to be making those crucial saves at crucial times. And I know it was William Nylander and all that giveaway crap that happened that made that shit come to fruition. But at the same time, you need your goalie to make a key save at a key moment. That second goal he allowed in to tie the game, that was the backbreaker to me. He should have had that. But there were some positives in that game. I mean, Willie looked pretty good up until the OT. Looking pretty badly. He got benched again tonight, by the way. What the hell? Yeah, he did. Keefe sat him down and put another guy, put Yarncroke on the first power play unit, took him off of it.
He did. You're right.
So that's some cookie taking right there.
Oh, the power play was garbage tonight. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, there's some things going on. The Riley knee injury, that sucks so bad. We all thought maybe he escaped something because he did, go back to the bench. He did come out for another shift, but when he went down that tunnel, and then you heard the words next day, imaging, or that night, imaging on the knee and what's going to go on, and then you start hearing the Friedmans and the Dreggers of the world talking about grade 1 or grade 2 MCL sprains. That really makes you a little nervous.
How serious are those? Just a sprain. It's not a tear, right? Like
it's not a tear. It's what Hyman had a couple of seasons ago, just before the playoffs, and he came back and played pretty good.
Hyman came back from it. Morgan can come back from it. Hopefully, Morgan. I don't want to say that I cursed him, but I just got this Morgan Riley jersey, and I may have cursed him.
Dude, I don't think you cursed him, man. Okay. Things happen. This is one thing I will say, though, guys. Here we go with the Toronto Maple Leafs finally getting to roll out the depth and see what they have. Teams usually have to wait till closer to the deadline to see what they have in the organization before they make trades. But right now, tonight, Mac Hollowell didn't look out of place. He didn't look bad. He got bites on a rush where he got caught. So what? Big deal. He's young. But Sandin and Liljegren didn't look bad, elevating their minutes. By the way, physical play by the boys on the back end. I was not too unimpressed by what happened there. And then they're talking about Mark Giordano, and everybody's like, oh, are you going to be able to play him? And he's like, just feed me more minutes. I'm good. And they're like, oh, you can take practice off. He's like, no, I'm good. He's like, no, I'm good. Just let me roll, keep the engine firing, is what he told Sheldon Keefe. But
39-year-old, unbelievable.
Seriously. And, other than Justin Hall's muffin tonight.
Oh, my God.
I put it on Twitter because it's the 5-minute muffin from Justin Hall. It happens. But you know what? He redeemed himself so badly by blocking that shot. He burst from the front of the net, got down on one knee, and took it full blunt. I think it was a slap shot from Dougie Hamilton from the point, got right in front of it, just full force, right off looked like the inside of the knee, but obviously the padding's there. But wow, did he get out there and atone for that muffin? But it's every game at a crucial moment. It's the Justin Hall muffin. I just wanted to pass it to somebody else. Don't put it up boards. You don't have enough on it. Just don't. Even hold it for a minute more or something. But that muffin he just throws up there, the team's just nom, 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 eat it up.
Delivery hot pizza.
That's what it is. He's like telling them, like, listen, this pizza's going to be late if I don't deliver it to you now.
Oh my God. There was one play I saw him make where he just tried feathering it over to the guy on the boards, and they just took it. They just stripped it right off. I'm like, what is Justin Hall doing, man? I know he's not a certified defenseman, like a first line defenseman, but it is so frustrating watching him make these plays consistently. And I don't know what your thoughts on the depth here for our defense, but it looks like we barely have anything for playing Justin Hall. And I love Mark Giordano, but he should not be playing on the first line here.
Listen, man, there was a time, and Dylan, remember this one here. Ron Hainsey on the Stanley
Yeah.
Cup champion Pittsburgh Penguins was their number one D-man. Things happen. You
That
need to
was a-
have enough players in your organization to step up. And finally, some of the guys we have, the Sandins, the Lilligrens, the Hollowells, guys that we drafted and took time with that came through each organization, the ECHL to the AHL, now up to the NHL. They're able to play NHL games, which is meaningful because it means that your draft and development staff are doing their damn job. So the Leafs actually have players they can plug in. You still have Victor Mete. You have Kral, but he's injured. The Dahlstrom's another guy who's going to play too when he comes back from his shoulder injury. And in I think 3 months. Sucks for him too. You got to remember those injuries are there as well. But now you're bringing in Connor Timmins. So you're going to have things to use. But the Leafs are actually getting to see that, oh shit, if we go down defensemen, we have guys in our organization who can do things here. We're not doom and gloom.
Keith had an interesting quote today where he said, whenever we have injuries, they somehow seem to play better. And we just witnessed them playing, well, at least holding off the New Jersey Devils from continuing that streak to 14 games. They just somehow find a way to win games they're not supposed to win. And I don't know, it's unbelievable. It's funny how that works, right? Like I don't know how they're doing this, but good on them.
No, I am afraid of us getting tested in the forward depth because it's happened with the goalies, it's happened with the defensemen. I'm afraid that it might happen with the
The trifecta.
Yeah, it just seems to be the domino effect, and I'm just like.
But you know what? I'm not even worried about that because you got Steves, Anderson.
Steve looks good.
Put on the list. You got guys in the AHL who can come up and step in who have made impacts before.
I don't think collectively, if there was 3 guys in like our top 9 that got injured, I don't think that the depth could help support the rest of the group.
I don't know. When Matthews goes down, JT goes to another level. And same
He's
thing
already at the other level.
Well, I know, but he just steps it up even further. William Nylander's another example. When there's one superstar guy out, whether it's Nylander or whether it's Matthews or Marner, we've seen Nylander elevate his game. And you know what? Tonight showed me something too, guys. And we'll go all over the map here because why not? That's what we do. We're offside. We're never onside. So the Leafs tonight did something that I told you guys they need to do. They need to have players in their proper positions. And by, didn't Kerfoot look good on the third line where he should be? Didn't Nick Robertson look good playing with 2 skilled players? Who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
You know,
I've been waiting for this to happen.
It looks like they finally did what they need to do. They had people in the right lines. And it looked okay to me. Engvall looked fine in his spot in the minutes he
did.
played.
I noticed him at points in the game, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Okay.
It's funny you bring up Engvall. I told producer Clark, if Engvall scores tonight, I will ship you off a Pierre Engvall jersey. And he almost got an
Giraffe was raging all night long. He was blowing the line. It was like the pride was behind him, and he said, "No, I'm getting away. You ain't eating me today."
Yeah.
And he kept going and going and going. He was galloping, man. I liked it. I like what I saw. Zach Aston Reese was noticeable tonight. David Camp was always noticeable. David Camp. But, you know, it just looked like everyone was slotted where they were supposed to be. And there was energy. They were rolling their lines. And here's the other thing, guys. The Leafs held the New Jersey Devils to 1 goal. And they've been pretty stout defensively this season. They just haven't scored, which is mind-boggling. But we do know that Austin Matthews has the ability to score goals. Same with Mitch Marner and Willie Nylander. So we know those things will probably fix themselves. And then I heard a lot of this today about, well, the Leafs bottom 6 isn't as good as last year because they're not scoring goals. But guess what we're doing less of? Allowing goals.
We're playing.
So obviously, it's more defensively sound down there.
Those last 5 minutes of just trying to keep
pure chaos
from scoring that goal. I noticed that when Kampf got the puck, he took that extra second and cleared it out. He wasn't panicking, although you could hear the entire crowd. In those moments, I would be like, oh crap, like let's just throw this away. He was calm, cool, and collected, and that's what you need. Same with Aston Reese. I loved watching him in that last
What do you think of Mark Giordano just shooting it all the way down, hitting the post? Like,
Oh, man. Gio, man, I was yelling. I was like, oh no, because that was that moment where you're like, this is where it goes off the fucking rails here, folks. Yeah. This is where it's gonna happen, and we're screwed.
What are the odds of that? I've never seen someone hit the post on an empty net across all the way in the other zone. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, no, that's what you win prizes, right? You ping it off a bar or something, and they give you a brand new car. Like that's what it is right there. A wide open net, but you got to hit the left post.
Yeah, but instead you get a free beer from a Jersey fan.
Yeah. Listen, okay, I think that's absolute garbage. Okay, I know Toronto fans did it at a Blue Jay game. Okay, but listen, if you're going to go to a professional sports game, and I know it sucks that you had 3 goals called back, but go look at the rules. They are what they are. You're lucky on the second one you didn't get a penalty to go with it because that was pure interference. Anywhere else on the ice, you knock a player down like that, incidentally, it's a penalty. It happens to the Leafs all the time. Welcome to what Leafs fans feel on a daily basis during a game. But the first one, clear as day, impeding the goalie from not being able to move. That is simple thing. You're in his.
Could have gone either way. I think that one could have gone either way. I'm good with the no goal, but
Mitch wasn't impeding him. He wasn't pushing him at all.
Nope.
You
cannot be in the blue paint restricting the goaltender's movement. They were skate on skate, and Murray could not move over to stop that shot. Yeah. And if Murray were to move over to where he was supposed to be, the deflection doesn't even happen to go into the net because he's already in that position to stop the initial shot. But he can't get there to get to that shot because he's being impeded. Now, the third goal being disallowed, it's a kicking motion. It's distinct. Even Lindy Ruff.
That was an extreme kicking motion.
Can I ask you guys something? So if he kicks it and it goes off of a Devils player, now is that a good goal?
It is a good goal, yeah.
That's a good goal, even if it just like hits off.
Because you're allowed to kick the puck to pass it to someone, right?
Yeah,
so when you kick it and then they put it in the net, that's fine.
Yeah,
but that's why they're saying
that makes sense because you pick it off a Leaf player and it's your goal no matter what. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So because it went off the Leaf player
stick on the other side, it would have been a good goal. But it didn't. That's what they were looking at to begin with.
It's because he was the last player to touch it.
He was the last Devils player to touch it.
Makes sense.
It could touch 50 Leafs all the way around the ice and then go in the net, but he kicked it, so kicked it in. But I know it sucks to have 3 goals called back, but each of those, you break it down after your emotion settles and you realize those are no goals. There's just no goals. And it is what it is. But to pepper the ice with stuff, like we talked about, you bust open a Jack Hughes or God forbid, you hit a linesman or a referee or something or whatever happens.
I think that would have been called. I think if you hit the ref, they would have called the game.
They could have called a penalty. They should have called a penalty because they did call the penalty in Florida when they threw the rats on the ice. Florida fans caused the Florida Panthers a 2-minute delay of game penalty, and it should have been called tonight. It should have been.
That's what I was saying on TikTok Live tonight. I was like, why are they not being called for a penalty? I knew that was possible. But like in Florida, I never heard. I heard
about the rats
on the ice, but that was during the playoff series when they would score.
It was during a playoff series, and they got the 2-minute delay game for holding it up. It was just nuts. It was I don't know what the situation was that led to it. I don't even think it was a goal. I think it was just they threw the rats on the ice because they're pissed about something.
Okay.
So it became something different. They also warned Detroit Red Wing fans of the same thing about throwing the squids on the ice. Mm-hmm. That was another thing where they said, hey, if you throw the squid on the ice, it's on the announcement.
Who brings the squid into the arena? Someone just
from the. I watched them around. I remember watching it around the time that Don Cherry was like really into watching Detroit playoff games, and there was several fans that would throw them on the ice all the time.
That's crazy.
No, it is nuts. It is nuts. But you know what? Here's another thing about tonight, guys, and this is something that I really am paying a lot of more attention to as I become an older gentleman and get grumpier about things. The Leafs were very active physically to start the game. Throughout the game, it seemed to stick pretty well. One thing they were doing was winning a lot of stick and puck battles. They were stripping pucks and doing different things. It was a full committee effort. And I said to Pete before you got here tonight, Dilly, because you were so damn late, that, if the Leafs play like that and keep that attention to detail, they can go pretty damn far. Because Matt Murray looked like a chef's kiss star. Like, he was stopping some 10-bell ones. That one where before the puck was kicked in, where he made that save, that was a beauty. And he's looking healthy. So
he's looking very confident. Very confident. Like those last, I'm gonna drill the last 5 minutes of that game was so much. Like we've been beating the drum of trying to find that goalie to get the key saves in the key moments, and he did that. He cooled himself. He was like, "Yeah, I got this," and it's like.
So Jordy Ben buys, just to jump in here, this just came out from Sheldon Keefe, has an upper body injury. They do not know the extent of it yet.
That means it's
update likely tomorrow. So
that's bad. Ladies and gentlemen, find us another defenseman. This is unbelievable. Like, do we have the most injured players in the league right now? We have definitely what's the record for having most injuries? We are gonna break it.
I would say Washington's up there.
Montreal last year, actually, guys. Remember, they were basically almost unable to ice a team for Montreal, let alone Laval, as they called up so many players that they had no one to play in Laval. So It was bad last year. But yeah, so Jordy Ben, guys, and anybody who's listening right now, appears to be set to miss some time here with the Toronto Maple Leafs again. Absolutely sucks, but hey, welcome to the team, Connor Timmins, right into the fire. Let's go.
Yeah,
Victor will probably get a look as well.
My buddy.
So,
just to go back to the goaltending, is it too early to get excited about Matt Murray, or should we expect another injury coming up, or is he gonna go off?
Why would you even say that?
Yeah, what are you doing, Pete? Pete, I'm clipping this because when he gets hurt,
how could you blame me for getting worried about injury?
You're gonna jinx it.
I'm not a jinx, guys. Come on.
Listen, here's one good thing, okay? I've told you guys this numerous times. A lot of players come to the Toronto Maple Leafs because of the medical department the Leafs have. And obviously, they're doing a pretty damn good job of keeping Matt Murray healthy right now. So let's just hope that they can keep him rocking and rolling. But Pete, I told you this before Dylan jumped on because Dylan was so fashionably late. And I'm going to keep ripping on that all night long because I get to do it because I haven't been here for a little while. So now I'm back. At least I hope anyways. But Matt Murray and Eric Kallgren and Ilya Samsonov. Maybe not Kallgren so much, but Sammy, Sonar looking great before he went down, by the way. Matt Murray now is what, 3-1-1?
Yeah. What's the status on Sammy or Sonar?
Sonar is in the traveling with the team. I do believe he starts this weekend. I think he starts Friday's game in Mini. By the way, everyone, Mini's game. It's 2:00 on Friday.
Oh, trust me.
Yes. I have half day Friday. I love that.
You are in the Fan Talk Fantasy Hockey League. Don't get grumpy at me when you don't set your lines or you want to go pick somebody up, but everything rocks early. Just put that out there.
I grab somebody the night before, people. The night before.
Yeah, well, I'm just putting it out there just so everyone knows Leafs Nation, it is going to be an early game day on Friday. And yeah, we probably might see Sonar in one of those games. He's progressed to where he is, so I'm pumped up for that. I want to see this tandem roll. What's up, Dilly? You got one finger up. You going somewhere? You got to be late again?
No. Go ahead. Continue with the goals. I want to mention one thing about the New Jersey game before we like.
Oh yeah, no, we'll touch on the Jersey game again, but no, we're just talking about the tenders. So both Matt Murray, I'm excited for him, man. I was excited for him before the season started. Ooh. I was excited for Ilya Samsonov. I said they both have things to prove, and so far, both goaltenders have come out and just bit down on the mouth guard and said, "No, I got shit to prove and things I want to do." And it starts right here with the blue and white. Let's go.
You know, you're not wearing white.
You know, one thing that Matt Murray has proved here.
And Ottawa was a very crappy team because even with our own AHL defense corps in front of them, which is what it is, because these guys haven't really played full seasons, Liljegren, Sandin, Ben, whoever you want to call it, because our regular guys aren't there, they're still better than what Ottawa had. And by the way, Ottawa fans, where are you at?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
They've
You
rolling
really
up, man.
been really quiet on Twitter, eh? What are they, second last?
Johnny Trottier, we love you. We love you to the moon and back. That's the PA guy for the Ottawa Senators. He's a big fan of the show. Always a great guy to talk to.
Yeah.
We're just chirping, man, because we were getting snow jobbed all summer about
He
how
was-
infinite the top 6 of the Ottawa Senators was, that it was going to shake the whole Atlantic Division. But unfortunately, it seems to be shaking its own boots.
I thought it was going to be good. I mean, I had them making the playoffs this year, and now I look like an idiot. And I picked the Bruins to not make the playoffs.
That's my thought too. I thought the old vets were gonna hit the road and this young team was gonna come storming. But I beat the drum of that damn defense core the entire preseason. They suck, monkey. Yeah, they suck. They suck big time.
What did you want to say there, Bruins? Monkey what?
Leave it alone, boys. Leave it alone. Draw it on a Christmas tree. You want to put some balls
I
on it?
I feel bad for Shabbat, man. They're like running him into the ground, dude. Like he can only do so much. They're a young guy that they
What happened?
believed
What
in
happened
so
to Leaf
much.
legend
has gone
Nikita
down.
Zaitsev?
Oh, Zaitsev, he's fighting people on Instagram and Twitter now. That's what
Yeah.
he's doing.
Fair enough.
We are going to touch on the Ottawa Senators here in a little bit on the show as well. It is coming up. If you guys check the pregame notes, we got some notes on the Sens today when we go around the NHL with a couple of stories. But Dylan, you have one more thought you want to throw out there on the Devils game tonight. Go ahead and fire it up.
Pointus freaking Holmberg.
The homie,
What a
man.
freaking goal!
I
love
like that.
I love that goal. I'm just like, yes. Yeah! You freaking
They
scored.
look easy too. He's done it 1,000 times, and his celebration just gave me chills. That was amazing to
He
see.
was so
No, it was absolutely awesome for homie there, man. I'm glad Holmberg scored. And by the way, can I put my hand up and say that during the preseason, who said that they really liked this game? I did say numerous times that I liked this game, liked the way he played, and thought that he should have made the team out of camp. That was one guy that I had on my radar. And if you go back and watch my preseason prediction season videos, I was hyping that guy up because I thought the home train was going to come through. But now the homie's here, so let's go.
Let's go, homie. Love these nicknames.
So, yeah, Leafs break the streak of the New Jersey Devils. It's absolutely amazing. But here comes the fun because now you have Minnesota at 2 p.m. on Friday. Then you play Pittsburgh. Then you play Detroit on Monday. So the games do not stop. They're coming fast and furious for the Maple Leafs. I'm wondering, guys, going in and playing mini, Kirill Kaprizov is starting to heat up, and we know what he can do. Last year, it was some fun, some magic when they played the Minnesota Wild because it was probably one of the best lives I ever did on TikTok where everybody was just going wild. It was fun, no pun intended. But what are we expecting here for the Maple Leafs? This is a big win.
It's an
What are you
awkward time to
expecting for
play
that
out. They never. I feel like they never win those games where they play 5 or like 2 p.m., 1 p.m. They get except for that one Carolina Kids game. That was
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I just want to remind you of that one.
Yeah, but that game was nonsense. They blew like a 3 or 4 goal lead or something, and then I can't remember.
That was the beautiful
Leafs.
spinorama pass Matthews did, I think.
Yeah.
I remember watching that at work, and like I was watching in the lunchroom, and people were like, "Pete, are you okay?" I was like, "Marner just did that."
Yeah, no, that was the Marner stirring the drink with the stick, man.
Yeah, but the 2 p.m. game, I don't know. I got a bad feeling about it. I took a half day on work, not to watch the game, but it's convenient that it's 2 p.m. and I can watch it at Chuck's Roadhouse to watch the game for my birthday. So shout out to my birthday.
Oh, shout out to
PM
my
game.
birthday. I'm going to do a prediction season video for the first time in a very long time, and I'm going to have to hype the birthday man up himself. Make sure the birthday wishes come flying in for Pete, the goddamn Hollywood man heat.
10K.
10K.
10K on TikTok. I'm a celebrity at this point, right?
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, let's go.
You're
Let's
gonna get
go.
you're gonna get promotions coming in like through the door.
Ooh, guess I'm an influencer.
Listen. with the mug on that guy there, the way he looks, come on now. Look at that guy with the hair. He's Rico Suave right there. Look at that. He's going to be up there. He's going to be doing all the modeling stuff. Be like,
listen. I put
He's a
some
hand model.
work into it. A little bit of blow dry, a little bit of
the new Dippity Doo hair gel
Yeah.
brought to you by Pete the Heat Industries.
Oh, that I'm gonna
Can
come
we
out
get-
with my own product one day. We'll see, boys. Let's see some
Can we
hair
get
product.
Pete the Heat like mugs?
Dude, we got to set up an online merch shop because there's so many little things that have been said on the
It's
show.
funny. People at work said they would buy like if I made a toque, like put flames on it or something. I don't know. Like
Pete
the
the
Heat.
Flames.
Love it. I absolutely love it. All right. Let's go around the NHL here, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, the Leafs are doing their thing, winning the game, breaking the streak. I love it. The breaker of streaks. Someone should do a Game of Thrones meme right there. Just have like Pontus Holmberg being the breaker of chains. And just have 13 links of a chain.
not gonna lie, I never watched Game of Thrones. I watched.
Oh, wah,
I
wah.
couldn't do it. Sorry.
Get
The
outta
midget
here.
orgy scene. I'm like, for that reason, I'm out.
All right, well, let's go around the league. There's a guy that just can't seem to catch a break except for his nose, which is Jack Campbell. Don't know how he's doing tonight between the pipes, but Jack Campbell, man, I think the Leafs dodged the bully because it does not seem to be a goaltender that the Edmonton Oilers want to start. This is his first start in 13 days. Whew. That's a little bit of a long streak, ladies and gentlemen.
Mhm.
What do you think
know
about Jack Campbell?
You know
At
what?
least he stopped a puck the other night. I saw Rick Rowley say that. I'm not taking credit, but
I'm so grateful that I have Allmark in my fantasy. That's all.
Not for much longer.
I didn't start
Send me the
swinging
truck.
tonight. I didn't know. I thought Allmark was starting in fantasy, but anyways, yeah, poor Jack Campbell. Honestly, I'm kind of okay with it. If he went to like say New Jersey or some other team, I would feel a lot worse. But because he's on Edmonton and their fans are a little worthless in my comment section, I just feel a little bit better. Oh my God, Jack is getting lit up, ladies and gentlemen. It's 3-0.
Oh, this poor
The game
guy.
is over.
If he gets pulled tonight, I still have Stuart Skinner in my lineup. So that
No,
will
the
be
game's
good.
over. They lost.
Oh,
They lost
oh,
3-0.
Oh damn it! Okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
Mm.
Soup. The soup is burnt.
He's slipping on soup and net.
Ooh.
There's
No
some-
soup du jour in
Yeah.
Edmonton, that's for sure.
Do you guys feel bad for soup or no?
Yes.
Listen,
Seasonal
I feel bad for
depression.
You know he's a genuinely good guy too. So
Seasonal depression is going hard for him right now.
Listen, I feel bad for Jack Campbell, the person. I don't feel bad for Jack Campbell, the player.
fair enough.
Because the
That is-
Leafs
yeah,
told
fair
him.
enough.
The Leafs told him what he was worth because of what he has done,
Yeah.
and he said, "No, I'm worth more." Well, now you're playing on a team. You're probably going to get bought out, so you're probably not going to get all the money you're owed because they're going to buy you out. Not this season, probably next, if this continues. And you just signed. You're in year one of a 5-year deal. Edmonton don't hang on to people that don't play well.
James, if he's bought out, how much money is like? How does that work? Like, what?
You got to go to Cap Friendly and use the bio calculator.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be different as you go along in the years.
Right.
There may be a year, it may be year 3, it may be year 2, where that buyout ends up being a lower hit for the Oilers going across than
Gosh.
it would be. So those are things. Go look at that. It's a fun thing to play with because there was a lot of people doing it this summer for John Tavares because they
Really?
wanted to see what the buyout would be on Tavares
You
going
imagine?
forward.
Did you see that stat of John Tavares of his like first 300 games versus his first 300 games with the Leafs? Like, that's insane.
Did somebody want to become a Toronto Maple Leaf? I think so. I think so.
Is he
But
still in the park?
speaking of guys kind of coming back and that may have been bio candidates themselves, what about Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn ratcheting it up in Dallas? Both guys looking like they've rolled back the clock. Both been told that they would never get to their old levels, but hello, knocking on the door, they're looking like the old Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin ripping it up in Dallas, which is scary for the rest of the Western Conference when you add in guys like Rupe Hintz and Robertson over there doing their thing and Jake Ottinger between the pipes.
Oh,
Whew, It's looking like a pretty damn solid team. So, what do we feel about Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin? Is it sustainable? Is the question.
How old are they now? They're up there. I see Ben's fighting. He's throwing the knuckles here and there. Still a tough guy like his brother, but Tyler Seguin, he's a pure goal scorer. If he can definitely find his game again. They took this team to a Stanley Cup, 2 years ago? I put $10 on them a few weeks ago just because the odds were so good. I was like, they look good. I'm gonna make this $10 bet. It's gonna pay me out 100 or 120, whatever it was. Jake Ottinger looks phenomenal. How's Jason Robertson doing? He's doing okay.
Buddy,
He's on fire.
Yeah, he's on fire. I should have never traded him.
So this team, they look like the real deal, and they could make a run in the playoffs, give Colorado a run for their money. So good for them.
Yeah, Ottinger picked up right where he left off from last year. What's up, Billy?
I love Jake. I love Jason. These kids bet on themselves. And I know I said this in the offseason, and they definitely should have. They're going to get paid when those contracts are up because they're well deserving of it.
Well, yeah, is Jason Robertson already underpaid for what he's doing?
Absolutely.
Seriously.
He's 10 points. He's 10 points over a point per game.
Mm-hmm. He's rocking.
Jake is 7-2-2 with a 218 goals against average.
Oh, jeez.
And 929 save percentage.
Hey, go look at Ilya Samsonov's numbers, bud. He's looking pretty good too. He's up there in the save percentage and stuff. So I'm liking that.
RFA.
What's that?
I said, thank God he's an RFA.
Yeah, no, I think the Leafs might hang on to him. I don't know.
Do you know what the qualifying offer was for?
It would be like it would.
I do know what it was. I think it was $2 million
to qualify him.
Yeah, for Washington. I believe that's what I heard on Steve Dango's. $2 million just to qualify.
Jesus, man.
They did not want to pay him.
This is a guy that they called Andrei Vasilevsky light when he came into the league. He's still young.
He trains with him too, right?
He does. He trains with him. He trains with Shesterkin as well in the offseason. So he's picking up those habits. I mean, this may be a guy where the Leafs get some found money here where they have him under control as well. Another thing, the trades seem to be starting to happen. The Leafs make the Connor Timmins move, and the New York Rangers deal Ryan Reeves to the Minnesota Wild. So these things happen pretty quickly. So I'm wondering if teams now, where we're getting closer this weekend is American Thanksgiving. That is the benchmark to, if you're out of it at this point, you're usually out of it for good. There's a couple teams that may make runs, but if you're not in and you're pretty gapped out, this is where you start to see the separation of where the teams can make moves. And that means maybe the Leafs pick up the phone and call Columbus and say, hey, what about Gavrikov? What are you doing with that guy? Can we get him over here? I know he's a left-hand D, but he's physical, and we can use him now that Jordy Ben's probably going to be out for a little bit. Why not? And he's cheap. Cards, yeah, but here's the thing. Seattle's rolling. Why do they want to get rid of Carson Soucy? Seattle's looking good.
Why does Seattle want to play good?
Why don't they want to play good?
Do you think they're going to make the playoffs?
I got some sneaking inclination that team's going to do some damage.
Martin Jones looks really good for them.
Which is a surprise.
What are your guys' thoughts on Shane Wright though? Like, is it?
I think Jeff Merrick and Elliot Friedman said it the best.
Yep.
He's going to be sent down. No, he can't be now because he played. That resets the clock.
No, he was down in the AHL.
No, he played last night, I think, in the NHL. And scored a goal.
I thought he got sent down. No?
I could be wrong. I thought he scored a goal.
Wrong, James. Shane
no,
Wright.
he got sent down. He has a
Is it
5-game or 10-game?
10-game conditioning stint?
Yes, and then he's eligible to come back for the game against Montreal, which people are thinking that they're going to play him because he wants to prove to Montreal that he was well deserving.
Then we'll
picked, and then I think the following day or two is when the players report for the training camp
in Moncton. Yeah. So hey, listen, I was right. Okay,
I don't.
Shane Wright. He did score a goal last night, but it was in the AHL.
Oh,
He scored a nifty goal. So I had the goal scoring right,
So he was
not
sent
the
down.
NHL right. My apologies.
So he
There you go.
was sent down.
He was sent down, so
Cash
he's
contributions.
on the thing. So that's what's going to happen with Shane Wright. And then he's going to be – because the
He's
other
gonna-
part of that too is they don't want him to play for the Kingston Frontenacs either.
no, he's
Because-
too good for that, I think.
Well,
And
no. It's not even to do with that. It's because the Kingston Frontenacs suck ass. So they want him to be traded in January to a contending team.
So I think it
Roll
was on
Pete's.
32 Thoughts. Yes, they're gonna go to the Pete's because of Brendan Hoffman.
Yeah.
Who is his buddy from midget?
From the Flyers, Don Mill Flyers.
Yes, thank you.
Look
Yes,
at the connections. Look at that. Boy's been away from the pod a little while.
Yeah.
I remember and shit.
I'm back to Shane Wright. I mean, like he's like, how did these teams see this kid? Like, I mean, like Montreal and who are the two other teams that skipped on him? How did
New
they
Jersey
know?
and Seattle picked him. Who
Like, do you think
You know why Yuri Slafkovsky went first, right?
because of his big frame?
No, because Yuri Slafkovsky played more hockey than Shane Wright did in the past 2 seasons. Because the OHL shut down a lot because of COVID.
Mm.
So Shane Wright didn't get to play,
Right.
so his development was stunted. It's the same thing with, just to bring it back to the Leafs, we always do, it's Nick Robertson syndrome. Go look at how many games Nick Robertson's played in the past 2 years. It's under 50 games total between the AHL and NHL in the past 2 seasons. That's not a lot of hockey for a guy to develop. Same thing with Shane Wright. He didn't get to play a whole hell of a lot because the OHL was supposed to start and never did.
So why was that? So why didn't they go overseas to play? Were they being told that they were going to play?
They were kept being told that they were going to start. If you remember, the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League here in Nova Scotia 2 years ago,
They were playing.
We started in October. On October 3rd, on my anniversary, I was watching a Quebec Major Junior Hockey League game in the hotel we were staying at, whatever Ocean Stone we were staying at. I was watching the game. It was the first actual game back for any of the major junior leagues across Canada.
Yeah.
But the OHL kept telling their players, yes, we're going to come. Yes, we're going to come. Yes, we're going to. And it didn't happen. It did. Then it ended up not happening. And that's why they're talking about the same thing with Quentin Byfield and a lot of other players that were supposed to be further along in their development. They're not because they didn't get to play. The same thing happened to Nick Robertson. He had nowhere to play. He couldn't go back and play for, I think he was the Pete's too, wasn't he?
Yep.
So he didn't get a chance to play. SDA, Sergei Anshinov, he didn't play. So a lot of guys that were in that development mix missed out. And that's why Shane Wright didn't go first, because everyone thought, well, Yuri Slafkovsky, he's been playing over in Europe. He played here. He played there. He's got more game experience. He's been developing better than other players. So that's why I think Shane Wright dropped to where he did. And that's why I think Shane Wright needs to play. He just needs to play. And this will give him a chance in the AHL on the stint. Dylan, you're right. Then he'll go to the World Juniors. He'll probably rip it up a little bit there. Then probably get traded somewhere to a good team, whether it's Peterborough or London or something.
London, come to London. I'll go and watch your games.
There you go. You got a ringing endorsement there, Mr. Shane Wright. You'll have D434 in your corner.
Yeah,
but that's the reason why for Shane Wright. That's just simple and plain. He hasn't got to play hockey. And a lot of these guys haven't. And again, like I said, I bring it back to Nick Robertson. I think it's total. He's got 46 games or something the past 2 years because of injuries and the COVID. So, I mean, that doesn't bode well for a player who's trying to develop his game and try to find his footing in whatever league. And I mean, is he too good for the AHL? Probably. But could he benefit from just playing hockey, Nick Robertson? Yes. But if he's playing now with Marner and Tavares, I'm so stoked.
When did COVID begin?
It began in 2020. It was March is when everything shut down.
Lockdown,
yeah.
Because I got back from Florida after watching 2 games in Tampa, and we came back, and the next week everything was shut down. And we were joking, eating breakfast at Maggie May's. Shout out Maggie May's in Florida.
You know what's funny? You just brought up a memory because I was literally in San Jose a week before the lockdown watching the Leafs play. And
there you go.
I saw
Right.
Marner Matthews have a highlight reel goal, and I was going wild in the stadium. I was like the only one there.
I was wearing Leaf jerseys at Tampa games, get laughed at by their mascot.
Oh
But
yeah.
to finish my
Yeah.
thought, Dylan, before you jump in, I was talking about licking doorknobs with my brother-in-law so we could stay in Florida for 2 weeks because we'd have to quarantine, right? And they weren't taking it seriously there. We never knew how serious it was about to be, right? I mean,
Yeah.
insane. Go ahead, Dilly.
I was at the last Leafs game before it shut down.
Wow.
Ooh. Yeah, I remember Nashville coming to town,
That's
and
the
the
game.
Bags were all here, and they didn't play.
No, or sorry. Tampa was the last game. Yes.
Yeah.
Tampa, and then Nashville. My buddy was scheduled to go and didn't get to go.
Damn. All right, so we were talking about the Ottawa Senators earlier and things that they may be able to do or may not be able to do. And again, Dylan, you seem like you listen to the same stuff I do. So it
Awesome.
does appear the Ottawa Senators probably won't be able to make any more moves because they are getting ready to be sold. And what do you not want to do before you do a sale? You do not want to add more money to your organization to inflate the bottom line. So everyone seems to like what the line is right now, knowing that Batherson and Norris and all of these young guys are signed. But then you go and say, well, we're going to trade for a Jakob Chychrun and bring in $4 million more, and we're going to dead cap Zaitsev or something along those lines. That's not going to look good for the people that are buying this team. So you want the waters to be calm financially. It may not be calm on the ice, but you have to have belief in these guys that you've signed, the Giroux's, and you got DeBrincat where you want to give him an extension, but you probably can't right now because you got Ryan Reynolds running around saying he needs a sugar mommy and daddy to help him buy the Ottawa Senators, which it looks like he's going to get.
I really hope he buys it. That would be so good for the franchise if he buys that.
It'd be so good for the NHL.
Yes, agreed.
I have a strange question, and it's because I don't understand. Does the NHL team share its salary in a little bit of a way with their AHL team, or does the AHL team just hold its own and whatever is getting sent down to them is what gets sent down to them? You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's all affiliations, right? That's why you see all these deals, these affiliation deals signed. So I think it just use Toronto as an example, and we'll use Wayne Simmons on a one-way deal, right? If he gets sent down, he's still getting paid his $1 million.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the Leafs who pay that. I think it's all connected to the same organization. I know the Marlies are owned by MLC, so that's all under the same branch.
Because I know that some teams AHL team changes and moves and whatever. So
it's weird.
I think it's all whatever the affiliation agreement is between the team and the NHL team. And there's some teams out there that are split. I know when Vegas came in before they had the Henderson Silver Knights.
They were Chicago Wolves, no?
Yeah.
They were Silver Knights now. But they had a split agreement where they were sharing an AHL team with another NHL team.
Yeah, I think it was Carolina.
I thought it was Chicago.
Charlotte Checkers or something.
Yeah.
Before they went to funk.
Who's Seattle's AHL affiliate?
Right now, Seattle's Coachella right now.
It is Coachella, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's weird because we all know because Shane Wright's there. But yeah, so I think that's the way it shakes out. It's whatever the affiliation agreement is and whoever owns the team, really, right? So if Ottawa owns Belleville or whatever it is, that's the way that it shakes out to be. But I know Toronto owns the Marlies and certain teams own their own AHL teams outright. I think that's the whole reason why Vancouver tried to get their AHL team closer to them by making moves, right? Because then you have more control. Your fingers are on it more.
And the distance of travel isn't that far.
Travel was atrocious for them. Crazy.
Where were they? They were in Abbotsford, right?
I think they're in Abbotsford now. I forget where they were.
You guys remember when the Leafs had the Solar Bears as their ECHL team?
Yep.
That was great. That team is wild in the ECHL. They have great facilities.
Yes. John has a fundraiser on right now.
Yeah, I definitely.
Shout out to John Hill. Yes, go check him out over on TikTok. Make sure you get in on his fundraiser. Shout out to Johnny Boy. Yes. We'll have to clip this and throw it up. But yeah, Jets, Leafs pick up a huge victory over the New Jersey Devils. This week so far, they are 1-0-1. They now have points, by the way, in 12 games. Or no, hang on. It's 12 of 13 games.
Okay, I was
12 of
gonna
13
say,
games the Leafs have points in. So we got a
But
little bit of our own
what's
streak.
their record right now? It's like 11-10.
The Leafs
Like,
are 11-5-5.
so they're 11-10, which is so weird. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about this loser point, but it's like you're an 11
Listen here. How would this one sound? 16-5-0. Because if the Leafs won those, or 17-5-0, or whatever it would be, if you win those 5 games, you're it could go either way, right? So
Yeah.
imagine the Leafs did that. They'd be one of the top teams in the
Yeah.
NHL. By the way, which they still are. I made the post the other day. 2nd in the Atlantic, 3rd in the East, 5th overall in the NHL. The sky is not falling, guys. It's just not falling.
Remember when it was falling in October and then
It
they
always
started
falls in
winning?
October. Leafs
You
Nation.
know what? Fans like me and you and Dilly, we were the ones getting garbage thrown at us by the rest of the Leafs
Yeah, we
Nation
were.
earlier in the season, okay? To bring it back full circle to tonight, we were getting shit pelted at
Hey.
us because we were like, hey, it's
Cut it out.
okay. It's
Relax.
okay. You know, we like Matt Murray. We like Helios Samsonov. Bah, bah, bah. You know, there was
What do you
crazy.
mean? You're crazy. You're delusional.
But the Leafs are 11-5-5. The mini game, Pete says they're not going to win. I think they're going to pick it up. I think they might lose to the Pittsburgh Penguins on Saturday night. But it all depends who's between the pipes, whether it's Sonar or whether it's going to be Eric Shalgren. If it's Shalgren, we shall grin and bear it, because that's what it will be when he is between the pipes. But ladies and gentlemen, this right here with myself, Pete the Heat, and D434 over on the TikTok, the 10K man himself, Pete the Heat. This right here is Offside Hockey Talk, where the Leafs and hockey comes to talk.